What's up and welcome to the video. My name is Dr. Daniel Ricciardi. I'm a gut health expert, licensed pharmacist, fitness enthusiast, and creator of a program called SIBO Shortcut, which is designed to give you all the information and daily support that you need in order to eliminate small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. The human microbiome is a community of various bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other microorganisms that live together mainly in the large intestine. Each year, more and more discoveries are made that really show how important the gut microbiome actually is for keeping us healthy. This week's video is going to be on a very interesting topic. It's a medical procedure known as Fecal Microbiota Transplantation, aka FMT. We're going to discuss what FMT is, how it works, what condition it's used for mainly right now, and how well it works, the conditions FMT may be used for in the future, and then we'll take a look at how well it may be able to help patients with SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. All right, let's get started. So what is fecal microbiota transplantation? It's also known as a stool transplant, which is a medical procedure in which you take the stool from one person called a donor, and then you put that stool into the gastrointestinal tract of another person known as the recipient. The goal of FMT is to essentially give this person a new microbiome. It takes the microbiome of this very healthy individual, which they really should be if they're a donor, and it goes to somebody who is struggling with some medical conditions. Because the microbiome is so important, doing a procedure like this has the potential to be helpful for eliminating diseases, improving metabolism, digestion, and even weight loss. There's a ton of research being done right now on FMT. To share a quick story with you to give you a personal experience that I had, about a year ago, a friend sent me something on Instagram. It was something like a girl was saying, I got paid $15,000 a month to poop and send it in, or something like that. Naturally, I was very curious to see how this was possible or what this was all about, and if it was even true. It turns out she was a paid donor at an FMT company called Human Microbes.
We want your poop. No, we need your poop. I'm with humanmicrobes.org, and your poop could change someone's life.
Basically, they want the poop of very young, healthy individuals to be used for research and fecal microbiota transplants so they can help their clients. And they're paying $500 per stool. So if you take out a calculator, $500 a day, this actually does come out to 15 grand a month, or over $180,000 per year. And literally all you're doing is using the bathroom, which you were going to be doing anyway. So immediately I thought, this is the career for me. Right away, I filled out the screening questionnaire, put the details up on the screen here so you can see what it takes to even be considered to be accepted as a donor. Unfortunately, I was not selected. They were looking for people who are less than 30 years old. I was 34 at the time last year. I also have a 7 to 8 year history of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is apparently an automatic disqualification. So it appears I need to keep working my normal job and doing YouTube videos. But if you get hired by them, you owe me lunch as finder's fee. How fecal microbiota transplantation works is step one, you pick a donor. As I just mentioned, donor should be an incredibly healthy person, as evidenced by the story I just shared. Step number two is collect the sample. This is done by the donor. Stool sample is collected, sent out to the lab, and there they do all sorts of tests to make sure that it's safe, not containing any harmful diseases or anything like that are going to be donated to the next person. Step three, the recipient prepares for the transplant. Normally this includes something like a colonoscopy prep where you want to flush the bowel completely clean. And step four is the actual transplant, which can be done by numerous different methods. Some include colonoscopy, you can do enemas, there's a nasogastric tube which goes down through the nose, down into the stomach, and then there's even capsules, aka poop capsules. So multiple different methods for doing FMT. What is FMT currently being used for right now? To the best of my knowledge, the only actual approved indication for what this process can be used for right now is for a type of infection called Clostridium difficile, or C. diff infections. C. diff is a very dangerous bacteria that causes severe diarrhea and inflammation of the colon, also known as large intestine. It can be very difficult to treat with antibiotics and cause people to suffer for years. This 2013 clinical trial from the New England Journal of Medicine compared how well fecal microbiota transplantation worked compared to vancomycin, which is the best antibiotic right now for treating C. diff. The study found that of 16 patients in the infusion group, which is the FMT group, 13 of them, or 81%, had resolution of C. difficile associated diarrhea after the first infusion. The 3 remaining patients that did not get better the first time around from FMT received a second infusion with feces from a different donor with resolution in 2 patients. So basically only 1 of the 16 patients did not get improvement of symptoms. Resolution of C. difficile difficile infection occurred in 4 of 13 patients, or 31% receiving vancomycin alone, which is the antibiotic, and in 3 of 13 patients, or 23% receiving vancomycin with a bowel lavage. So that means that in this study, the fecal microbiota transplantation worked 81% of the time the first time around for treating C. difficile infections. And this is compared to the best antibiotic at that time, which is vancomycin, only working 31% of the time. A very significant difference. What does the future hold for FMT? Many different conditions are currently being studied right now to see how FMT works for them. This 2022 review by Medicina Journal, which is an international peer-reviewed journal, lists many of the diseases that FMT is currently being studied with. This includes gastrointestinal diseases such as ulcerative colitis, pouchitis, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, microscopic colitis, functional constipation, antibiotic-associated diarrhea, and many more. This review is also looking at non-gastrointestinal diseases such as psoriasis, multiple sclerosis, also known as MS, Parkinson's, and even obesity. So there's reason to believe that there's a lot of potential use in the future for this treatment. And then what's the potential use for using it to treat small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO? This 2021 study by the BMC Gastroenterology Journal looked at how well fecal microbiota transplantation worked for patients with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, aka SIBO. It found that gastrointestinal symptoms significantly improved in SIBO patients after treatment with FMT compared to participants in the placebo group. The gut microbiota diversity in the FMT group had significantly increased, while placebo group showed none. All right, quick update. My program for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is now available as both SIBO Shortcut and SIBO Shortcut Plus. SIBO Shortcut gives you all the information that you need to successfully eliminate SIBO, so you have everything you need right there all in one place and never have to keep searching online. SIBO Shortcut Plus gives you all that same information, plus access to daily group calls, recordings, and customized support. The Plus plan is currently sold out until October 1st, but SIBO Shortcut is now available. For more information or to sign up, click the link down in the description below. And back to the video. So this is a graph of the before and then 6 months after doing the hydrogen gas level testing via lactulose breath test to check for SIBO. The black lines are from the patients that took the placebo, and the pink lines are from the patients that did the FMT therapy. Note, this is checking the hydrogen concentration in parts per million. As you can see, the placebo patients didn't experience improvement. The black lines, this is the before line with the circles here, and then the after line, it actually pops up a little bit higher, whereas the FMT patients did. Note, the pink circles were before FMT and the pink triangles were after FMT. So pink circles here, as you can see, started out higher FMT, and then as you can see, the hydrogen levels were much lower then, which is actually negative or no longer diagnostic of SIBO. Well, it seems like it may be able to help for hydrogen levels. In this study, it didn't show to be helpful for methane gas levels that were elevated. Here are the results of placebo and FMT for methane gas. This is before and 6 months after, same as the icon I showed you before. As you can see, they're kind of all jumbled together and it doesn't really seem like there's a significant difference. So per this study, it seems like there may be potential for use for FMT or hydrogen dominant SIBO, but not necessarily intestinal methanogen overgrowth, or IMO, that tests for methane. In conclusion, fecal microbiota transplantation is a very intriguing medical procedure that involves transferring stool from one person to another in the hopes of resolving various medical conditions. It's currently approved right now for use for the C. difficile infections and is now being studied for a vast variety of other conditions. And notably, according to the study we looked at in this video, it may have the potential to help with cases of hydrogen dominant SIBO. And 10 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if FMT is way more widely available and used far more frequently. That is all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more related content. I post a new video every Monday evening and then YouTube shorts all throughout the week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.